first Python project together. So what we're going to do first is create a folder in our desktop. So right click and then new folder, and then name this as learning and then dash Python. So this is the name of the folder. Now what we're going to do is inside of VS Code, you can see that we have this section where it says start. You can see new file, open folder, add workspace folder. So click on open folder and then navigate to desktop and then select the folder that you've just created. And there we go. So now you can see that this is the name of the project, learning-python. So it's just the actual folder that we have specified. So here you can see that we have this welcome tab. We can close it because we don't need it. And what we're going to do here first is to install a plugin for Python. So VS Code allows us to install many plugins for working with various different languages. So if you want to work, for example, with Python, there is a plugin for Python. If you want to work with JavaScript, there is a plugin for JavaScript. And for us, we need a plugin that will give us a lot of features when it comes to work with Python. And you'll see this in a second. So in here, you can see that we have these little squares. And in here, we can search for a bunch of extensions. So you can see that the popular tab here, we have Python at the beginning. So if you don't see Python, just search for Python and then just select the very first one. So if I select that one, you can see that it has 26 million downloads. So it's quite impressive. So in this page, you can scroll down, you can see what this plugin is all about, but you're going to learn very shortly what it has to offer. So let's install this plugin. So click on install. And that's done. You can see that it says this extension is enabled globally. So the quick start section here, you can see that it says install the plugin, and then step 3, open or create a Python file and start coding. So let's do that. So we're going to come out of this extensions tab. So click on Explorer in here, and inside of learning, so you can see that we have a couple of sections here, but in here, so learning-python, so expand that, and then you can see we have this button where we can create a new file. So click on the button and let's name this file as my, and then underscore, and then app, and then say dot, and then py. So this is very interesting when you say .py. So something is happening here. So if I remove .py, you can see that in here we have these lines, right? And as soon as I say .py, check this out, we have the Python logo. So what this is saying is that we have a file that has the extension of Python. So if you want to work with Python, every single file that you create has to have the .py. So the same, for example, if you want to work with a different programming language, let's say JavaScript, simply type J and then S, and you can see that we have the JavaScript logo. If I want to work with Java, I can type dot and then Java. You can see that the logo changes, right? And basically you have different extensions. So the same, for example, if you have worked with Microsoft Word, for example, this is the file extension. So dot and then doc, and you can see that we have the Microsoft logo right there. So because we are working with Python, we need to say dot and then py. Every single file that we create has to have the .py right here. So this is where we're going to have our Python code. So press enter. And what I'm going to do here is put this full screen by clicking on this green button, just like that. and then I'm going to press Command and then plus. So I want to zoom in so you can see everything what we're doing. So here you can see that VS Code is telling us that linter PyLint is not installed. So these are just extra extensions. So just install and just give it a second. And basically, if you see any other things that needs to be installed for Python, just install them. They are extensions. So let me close this and then close this file here. And now check this out. So if I close the extension tab as well. So here, now this is our file. So if I close this again, so I want to show you. So here we have the my_app.py. Click on it and you can see that this is our Python file. So in here, we can start writing some code, and that's what we're going to do next.